Hi, let's talk about comparison today. Have you ever opened your phone just to chill for a bit and 30 minutes later you are questioning your entire existence, your entire life? That is the feeling of comparison. That is the feeling of envy. And even though we do not want to admit it, you might be disciplined, you might be spiritual, you might be focused, and you would have a very good heart and still feel envious because it's human, right? It's human. You see other people who are your age, you see others who have the same background as you, who maybe went to the same school, who maybe are in the same city or same country and living a particular life that you may not be living, right? And it's very easy to feel envious. I feel like envy is the easiest emotion to feel, even though it's counted as one of the six, like inner evils. Envy is still very easily felt by a lot of us. And social media only does the work of amplifying that envy because social media feeds are so curated. Everyone is only posting their best life on social media. No one's going to post if they had a bad day, right? Once in a while people will, just because they feel like, but for the most part social media will be full of stuff, because when you are sad or when you are not having a good day, you don't think, oh, let me post that on social, right? Like only and only when you achieve something, or when you went to a amazing restaurant which has beautifully laid out food, I guess, or amazing time with friends, that's when you feel, oh, let me capture this and post it on social, right? And a lot of it is also for validation from others that this is the life I'm living. Anyways, that was off topic, but envy or comparison, when we start feeling it, we dismiss the major point that all of the life's achievements are contextual. When you feel envious or when you compare, you do not know the other person's starting point. You do not know the support system they have. You do not know their financial background. You do not know their, um, I was going to say, like the family background that they have, the and the struggles that they might face that they are not showing online, right? Not everyone will show their struggles online, or the 5 years of doubt and anxiety that they faced. That's not going to come up. You're only going to see the outcome. So there's never anything that is shown in terms of the starting points or the context. It's only the outcomes and the results that you see on social. And even in general, like not everyone's going to share their struggle story in real life. When you meet people, how are you? The answer to that is, I'm fine, right? Like it's always the answer to that is, oh, fantastic, I'm doing great. Because you do not want to start crying the moment someone asks you, how are you? I also feel that in the culture that we come from, and for those who don't know Indian culture, even though envy is part of the six inner evils, it is still so normalized. And it is normalized in terms of, like, you would know the Sharma ji ka beta syndrome, right? So that so and so's son or so and so's daughter is doing so well, so and so's son is getting 90%, why can't you get it? So even though if it doesn't come from a place of malice, even though it doesn't come from a place of judgment, it is more so named as motivation. But let's be true to ourselves. It's all envy, it's all comparison. Envy is the root of comparison, right? As soon as you start comparing your life against someone else's, that's it. Like, that's it. You are envious, whether you believe it or no, right? And then the other word for it is that we do not like to use is jealousy, right? Um, I think the other thing I wanted to mention is that in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 35, it talks about swadharma. So the line says that it is better to follow one's own dharma imperfectly rather than to follow someone else's dharma perfectly, right? So in today's world, we copy everyone's routines, right? Nighttime routine, daytime routine. We copy others' practices, we copy everyone's diet plans and stuff like that. But not everything should be copied. If it works for someone, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Again, everything is contextual, and you need to know that all of this is only helpful if your context, your environment, your surrounding, your body, your mind is going to support it. And that's the only time it's going to work, right? So, again, coming back to comparison, it makes zero sense to compare just because it's not going to work until and unless your situation and the other person's situation is similar to the dot, which I don't think is true for anyone else, for anyone in this world, right? um, just like fingerprints, just like thumbprints, everyone has got a different one. And I would also want to leave, I guess, a bit of tips and tricks on how to handle when you feel envious. So, as soon as you start seeing someone's achievements, or as soon as you hear something, first thing, if you feel that tightening in the chest, name it. Name it that it is envy. Even though we don't like it, right? We don't want to label ourselves as being envious or jealous. And even though we want the best for the other person, a lot of times when we name it, it's a doubt creeps in, like, am I a bad person for feeling this? No, that's not true. You are human, right? And human beings feel all sorts of emotions. So as soon as that feeling creeps in, name it. This is envy. As soon as you label it, the it becomes powerless, right? Like, as soon as you label something, it becomes powerless. And then the second thing you do is come back to yourself, where you are at, right? So if you are feeling envious or if you are feeling jealous, use it as information. So let's say someone achieved something and you are really you feel like, oh my god, like this person has achieved this, like I'm not there, right? What part of that achievement are you craving for in your current reality, right? So let's say if that means more money or if that means more freedom, then that's what you are craving, not the actual achievement. You don't want the exact degree, right? You don't want the exact certification the other person got. It's sort of, if it is social recognition, right? If that might be social recognition, that might be, I guess, recognition at home or support from other people, or other people thinking being that you are superior. So if that is the feeling you're craving, then maybe think of what can I do in my current reality to feel that feeling or to get that recognition, right? So firstly labeling it, and then the second one would be to actually see what you can do in your current reality to move things. And then the last would be always remember context, right? So let me give you an example. You might be 30, there might be other two people who are 30 as well, right? So one person who is 30 might be single, who he is mobile or she is mobile, and they are, doing adventurous stuff, being bunny from Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, and everyone else would be envious, right? Like, oh my god, this person's so chill, right? Like, they are enjoying their life. The other person who's 30 might just be getting married, right? And they are like, they are in the best season of their lives. And the person who's single might think, oh my God, this is so good. Like, they found their person. They are, they are getting married. And I wish I had someone who would basically do all the adventures with me. And then the third person, they might be in a season where they are having kids, or they might also be in a season where they maybe lost their parent, or so they are in grieving season. So all these people who are in their 30s are still in different seasons of life. So one might look at the other and think, oh my god, this person's life is great, going great, and that I would love to do something that they are doing. The other person's thinking the same, right? So everyone's context is different. So remember what your context is, what your current priorities are, because even though, always remember, if you were in that person's shoes, you might not want it. So it makes zero sense to be envious of that person if you do not want the same things for you. And envy is often unexpressed desire. So if you have some desires that you would like to fulfill, take that envy as information and work on it. That's all I want to say. And we have all our lives hated the Sharma Ji Ka Beta syndrome. So let's not foster into it anymore.